In this installment, we're going to be going over the NBA bets slate for March 7th on Thursday. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to give you the winning ingredients for our Thursday, March 7th slate in NBA. But before I deep dive to that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetsJetsD. Don't forget about that TikTok at Chef_D91. And don't forget about that Patreon, which I'm going to touch on very, very soon. Right now, we're at the YouTube homepage with 1.67 thousand subscribers. You guys are doing awesome with support on each and every video now. So I'm very thankful for that. We're going to continue to push forward for that. The goal is 2K. The next goal is $2,000. And as of right now, if you're currently subscribed, continue to like and comment. That helps the YouTube algorithm. If you're not subscribed, why don't you just hit that subscribe button already, get it over with, and enjoy the free content. All right. Now, for the Patreon, if you guys want to sign up for that, for my premium plays, all right, for my premium plays, for the future bets, for NCAA, all that's going to be on there. Everything is going to be on there. All right. I'm not going to have everything every single day for video. These are my final decisions at the end of the night. And we were 71%. All right. We had Warriors. We had Magic. We had Clippers. We had the Jazz come through and cover that 4. And we had Tennessee money line. We threw a dart on LeBron James triple-double, came short. But the percentage was 71% correct. Okay. All right. So, guys, if you want winning selections, 71% is good. Betting is most good bettors are 50. Regular average bettors around 30%. If you're looking at your regular average Joe that goes to work every single day. All right, so sign up for the Patreon right now. Do not miss out. And let's get into this slate and let's get to this money. All right, first game up, we have the Brooklyn Nets here on the road, currently 25-37, going up against the Detroit Pistons, who are 9-52. Looking at the odds, Nets are minus 140 on the money line, with the Pistons as a plus 115. We have the spread at a 2.5 and the total at 215.5. Okay. Looking at the public bet percentage, 81% of the bets, 82% of the money on the Brooklyn Nets. For the point spread, 75% of the bets and 64% of the money on the Nets to cover that spread, and 69% of the bets and 64% of the money on the over 215.5. Looking at the injury report here, we're going to go over to RotoWire because they have a full list, and this is the same day, so they're going to have everything there. We have a game time decision on Day'Ron Sharpe. Cam Johnson is out. Ben Simmons is out, and Cam Thomas is still out. On the Detroit side, only Quentin Grimes, who they got in the trade, is out as of right now. Okay. So looking at the previous matchups between these two teams, they faced twice already. December 23rd, it was an 11-point win by Brooklyn. And December 26th, it was a 6-point by Brooklyn. Those totals were 241 in game 1 and 230 in game 2. Both of those totals are over the current total at 215.5. We're going to lean towards the over, okay, in this game right now. We like the 215.5. Now, money line, looking at the against the spread numbers, the Nets are good as favorites. All right, they're 13-8 this year as favorites. The question here is away. The Nets are 10-18 away against the spread. All right, looking on the Pistons side at home, they're 13-15 at home, but as dogs, they're 29-26 against the spread as dogs. So this could be a close contest. There's only 2.5 points here. And you've seen that previous game that was in Detroit. It was around a 6-point game. So you could be willing to take the point spread. Just give me the safer bet here. Take the money line or take the over 215.5. Let's go on to the next game. Next game up, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves, who are currently 43-19, going up against the Indianapolis Pacers here, 35-28. Okay, hopefully the Pacers have turned a little bit of a stone here because they were struggling for a couple games here. Looking at the odds, Pacers are at a money line at -120. The Timberwolves, you can get them at +100. This is a pick'em game essentially, with the point spread being at a 1.5. All right, so you might as well just skip the points and just go for the money line. Who do you think is going to win this game, with the total being at 228.5? All right, public bets here. We have 57% of the bets and 80% of the money on the Minnesota side. 50% of the bets is on Indianapolis side. Okay, point spread is split pretty much down the middle. 52% think 52% of the bets is on the point spread of Minnesota, and 54% of the money is on Indianapolis. So it's very split down the middle on both sides. All right, essentially. Over is emphatically, and it just went down. That's crazy. So 84% of the bets and 85% of the money just went towards the over of 227 now. It went down from 228 all the way to 227. So we're going to look at that previous matchup really soon. Looking at injuries, all right, we have Clark out, Karl Anthony Towns is out, and we have McLaughlin as a game time decision to back up point guard. On the other side, Karl Anthony Towns being out is huge. For the Pacers, Ben Mathurin is out, and then Doug McDermott is out. So it's kind of even. More in the favor of Pacers because Karl Anthony Towns is a huge loss for Minnesota. But this bodes well for the Pacers so far. Looking at that previous matchup, that was an 18-point blowout in Minnesota, and that total was 236. So that could be a little bit deceiving there if you expect you're losing points from Karl Anthony Towns in this matchup here. And it's away for Minnesota now. But Indianapolis Pacers, they do not play any defense. So 227 is one of the lower numbers you would see in Indiana. So I'm still very curious about that. We did have some reverse line movement live on that total. So I would see if that line keeps dropping. Pay attention to that line at 227. Does it get to 226, 225? Something's telling me something that the under would hit with missing these two guys, and Ben Mathurin and Karl Anthony Towns. So consider that. But looking at the money line, I'm going to go with the Pacers money line here, -120, to bounce back from that previous matchup that they had in Minnesota. They get their revenge and they split the series 1-1. Let's go with the Pacers. Next game here, we have Miami Heat, who are currently 35-26, going up against the Dallas Mavericks, who are 34-28. This game's going to be on TNT, so this is a very good matchup between these two teams here. Looking at the odds, Dallas, you can get them on the money line at -200. Miami, you can get them on the money line at +165, with the point spread being at 4.5. The current under is at around 229.5 points, essentially 230. In the public bet percentage here, 83% of the bets and 69% of the money on Dallas. Point spread, we have 49. It's down the middle, leaning towards Miami to cover the spread at 4.5, but it's split straight down the middle on bets and money. And then the over is slightly leaning towards the over, 59% of the bets, 58% of the money. Looking at the injury report here for Miami, Tyler Hero is going to be out. Kevin Love is going to be out. Everything's fine on Dallas' side. They're all healthy, all right? Now, you can say, Tyler Hero's out, Kevin Love's out. It's a big thing. Not really big. You got Jimmy Butler. And this team, it doesn't matter with Eric Spoelstra. They play tough each and every game. If we go back to, what was that game? Was it Sacramento? It was Sacramento. Yeah, it was Sacramento. They had a lot of guys out. I think they had Butler out. They had Hero out. And they won with just, like, Caleb Martin, Dylan Wright. They had a whole bunch of scrubs, whole bunch of backups. Kevin Love, they won outright. All right, so do not discount this team. Doesn't matter. And they were on the road, and they won without their main guy. So never discredit the Miami Heat here. And you have the Dallas Mavericks, who are continually struggle. It doesn't make sense. They did the same thing last year. Second half of the season, leading up to the playoffs, they cratered. All right, they went like 6-13 in the last 19 games and fell out the playoffs. So it's looking like the same thing is happening again. You lose to Cleveland. Toronto sucks, but you lose to Boston. You lose to Philly with no Embiid. And then you lose to Indianapolis Pacers, get blown out from the Pacers. Again, back-to-back games at home, get blown out. All right. So this is very concerning here. They did a late comeback in Philly, but Philly was up comfortably majority of that game. You get a tough team in Miami, and this is a team I do not trust at all. So we're going to go with the point spread. We're going to be safe here. Give me the 4.5 points. I think that's too many points for Dallas. This is a team I don't have faith in to come and beat a well-run team like Miami and Eric Spoelstra. So give me the points of +4, and then I'm going to lean towards the under, but that's not my favorite play. My favorite play is the point spread of the Miami Heat in this game on the road going up against the Dallas Mavericks. They're going to come to ball, all right? Away, look at these numbers against the spread. 18-12 away is Miami Heat as against the spread. They're 14-13 as dogs against the spread. On the other side, the Mavs, they play well as favorites, 21-15 against the spread as favorites. But at home, they're 14-19, well under 500 at home against the spread. So we're going to go with that Miami Heat +5. All right, let's go on to the next game. Next game, we have the Toronto Raptors, who are currently 23-39, going against the Phoenix Suns, who are 36-26. Looking at that odds here, the odds line, -500 on the Phoenix Suns, if you want to go with them and throw them in a parlay piece, because that's a big number. The Raptors on the money line are +375 if you believe in them, all right? Point spread is 10.5 on both sides, with the total being at 231.5, okay? Public bet percentage, 95% of the bets, 97% of the money on Phoenix to win. 52% of the bets, 52% of the money on split down the middle, leaning towards Phoenix to cover 10.5, okay? And then the total is split down the middle yet again, bets and money. Leaning towards the over 231.5 in this particular matchup. Looking at the injury report here, so far right now we have Ochai Ajayi, game time decision. Scotty Barnes is out, obviously. He's going to be out for a long time. Bruce Brown is out. Jakob Poeltl is out as well. Jakob Poeltl is out. So that's a big loss there. One of the main rebounders going up against Yusuf Nurkic, who's a monster. And on the Phoenix side, Devin Booker's still out. Probably going to miss another couple 6 to 10 days. Damian Lee is out. Nasir Little is out. And Josh Okogie. So a lot of backup players are out for Phoenix. They got their main guys, okay? And looking at the previous matchup for these two teams, this was a loss for Phoenix that was in Toronto. Total points was 217 in this particular game, and it was a 7-point loss for the Phoenix Suns. This could be a revenge spot here for Phoenix. They're coming off a big win against Denver, and they had time to rest up. That bodes well for them. So we're going to go towards, obviously, the money line there in the Phoenix Suns, but that's no value. So I want you guys to grab first quarter, first half, and full game. Try to get the 3-way, the full slate. You'll see it in there on FanDuel. They have it on there where it's just a complete Phoenix Suns win each and every quarter. All right, you'll find that in there. I'm telling you right now. That's the favorite bet. If you want the best odds, I'm telling you this Phoenix Suns going to win first quarter, Phoenix Suns going to win the first half, and Phoenix Suns going to win the full game. Okay, you can get that in there. You'll see it in there if you go to FanDuel, okay? This total at 231.5, I would like the under in this particular game. In the first game, we had 217 points. I don't think Toronto can keep up pace with the Phoenix Suns. It would have to be the Suns like really throwing it on them. And just, I mean, it could be a 3-point barrage here. But we're going to lean towards the under in 231, but that's not the favorite play. We want total domination on the Phoenix Suns, all right? So, looking at that total point spread, the numbers for the Phoenix Suns at home against the spread are 12-20 at home, and they're 18-26 against the spread as favorites. So, though you have not great numbers going towards Suns covering, but this is a different situation here with the Raptors being a really, really decimated team. They're missing a lot of guys here. And as dogs, Raptors are 18-21 against the spread. So you can go towards that full cover, but I'd rather you guys take the first half, first quarter, and then the total game, okay? You take that there, or if you just want to play the first half, and that point spread's probably around 5. I would take that instead of the full game of 10. Go with the other stuff before you get to this big number at 10.5, okay? All right, so we're going to move on to the next game. Next up, we have a premium matchup. Could this be the NBA Finals? I don't think this is the NBA Finals, but we have the Boston Celtics 48-13 going against the Denver Nuggets, who are 42-20 here. Looking at the odds, we have the Nuggets here as favorites, slight favorites. Minus 130, you can get them on the money line. Boston Celtics, you can get them at plus 105. Point spread on both sides is 1.5. This is pretty much a pick 'em. And the total points is at 221.5. This game is in Denver. In Denver here, okay? Bets and money for the money line, 64% of the bets on Boston, 88% of the money on Boston. Point spread is leaning towards Boston for the bets and the money. And then you have the over leaning towards the over here. 71% of the bets, 73% of the money on the Nuggets. This game I'm really torn on. Really torn on. Looking at the injury report here, Jaylen Brown, I don't know what the heck this is. Sacroiliac? I don't know what that is. I would have to look that up. Someone, if they know what that is, comment down below. What the heck, sacroiliac? Did he get hit in the nuts? He got hit in the nuts. That's what I'm thinking. All right. And this nobody here, Neemias Queta, he's like 80 minutes. Ooh, why? Stop it. Just like Nuggets putting up Vlato cancer. All right, he's out as well. Or is he a game time decision? What did it say? He's out. All right. So there's no significant out here other than Jaylen Brown. Wait on news about Jaylen Brown. Okay. Wait on news. That's going to be big. That's going to adjust the line with everyone coming in on public underdogs here of the Boston Celtics, who just came off an embarrassing loss to the Cleveland Cavaliers, where they gave up a 22-point lead in the fourth quarter. All right, both these teams are coming off losses. You have the Denver Nuggets coming off a loss against the Phoenix Suns here. So both of these teams are in similar predicaments. We had Denver win the first game. Who's going to win the second? This is in Denver. Let me look at against the spread numbers really quickly here. Boston away are 12-14 against the spread, and as the dogs. So as dogs, they're 1-1. So there's not much data on that one. For Denver, at home, they're 14-15. They don't cover much at home. And as favorites, they're 23-28. All right, so there's not much to go off there. This is, what do you feel in your gut? I'm telling you, I'm going to fade the public. Give me the Denver Nuggets on the money line. That's what we're going to go with. And hopefully that injury news about Jaylen Brown is in the favor of the Denver Nuggets as well. And we're going to lean towards it's kind of high. We're going to lean towards the over. Next up, we have the San Antonio Spurs here, who are 13-49, going to be against the Sacramento Kings here, who are 35-26. Looking at the odds, minus 600 if you want the Kings in your parlay piece. Spurs on the other side, if you want them on the money line, plus 425, with the point spread being at 10.5. Total points here is at 237.5. And looking at the public bet percentage, 94% of the bets, 76% of the money on Sacramento, 57% of the bets on Sacktown to cover that spread, 62% of the money on the Spurs to cover that spread. And the total is leaning towards the over 237.5 with the bets and the money. Looking at the injury report here, big news here, Victor Wembanyama is going to be out. All right, their heart and the soul of the San Antonio Spurs will be missing this game. And on the other side, backup Sasha Vezenkov is going to be out there, three-point shooter, but he's really a non-factor there. Looking at the previous two matchups, we've had both of these games were all Victor Wembanyama here, and this is different circumstances here. So far, Sacramento is winning the series 2-0, and it's the final game in their three-game series. The first game went 249, and the next game went 249. So both games between the Spurs and the Sacramento Kings went to 249 points. And the current total right now is at 237. All right. So you get a little bit of a 12-point leeway, but you're seeing the team with the Spurs that are missing one of their big scorers. All right. Just all around effect. All right there. So I'm going to feel confident here. Obviously, we like the Kings to win, but there's no value there. We're going to go with the Kings to cover the 10.5. All right. So this is the second game of a back-to-back here for the Kings. The Spurs did not play yesterday. No, they didn't. So they're coming off rest, but a loss, and they're losing their main guy. So I like the Kings to cover 10.5, and we're going to go with the under 237.5 points because Victor Wembanyama is out. I expect this to be a blowout. Spurs to struggle offensively and not be able to keep up pace with the Sacramento Kings. Let's go on to the final game of Thursday. All right, last but not least, we have the Chicago Bulls, who are 30-32, coming off a win against the Utah Jazz, going up against the Golden State Warriors, who are coming off a win as well, 33-28. Both of these teams played yesterday, so second game of a back-to-back here. Looking at the odds, minus 300 on the money line for the Warriors, with the Bulls at a plus 230 on the money line. For the point spread, 7.5 on both sides, with the total being at 224.5 points. The public bet percentage here, 91% of the bets, 97% of the money, all over Warriors to win. And you got 80% of the bets, 90% of the money on the Warriors to cover that spread of 7.5. With the total going towards the over 74% and 79%, going towards the over of 224.5. All right. The injury news for the Chicago Bulls. All right. The Warriors are fully healthy. For the Chicago Bulls, there's going to be Dalen Terry. He's going to be out. And Torrey Craig is a game time decision. So wait on news on that. That's not really a big factor here for the Bulls. Looking at the previous matchup, did they have one? Yes, you had the Chicago Bulls. This was an insane game. 271 points. Jesus. 271 points in the game on January 12th. Absolutely insane. And that was a 9-point win from Golden State here. And that was on the road. Now you're getting Golden State at home. That's why all the money's coming in on that point spread and going towards that over 224.5. So I'm going to lean towards the over again, 224.5, lean towards that over. But I'm going to go with the point spread of the Chicago Bulls. Both these teams coming in second game of a back-to-back. I'm going to avoid the public here. They just saw the Warriors blow out the Milwaukee Bucks, and everyone's smashing that number. I want to get away from that 80 to 90%. 90%? That's where upsets come from, bro. We try to avoid 90% is a lot. Especially if it's kind of close. If it's like a 15-point or a 13-point spread, we get it. But this is in the vicinity that Chicago Bulls could do something, okay? So we're going to go with the point spread here at the plus 7.5. Give me the points for the Bulls going against the Warriors in this particular matchup. And we're going to lean towards the over of 224.5, all right? Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, all right? Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MessageSD. And I'll be back with another video very soon, all right? Peace out.